Hey, this is SJ Talks and Live coming back at you. Have it on an article here talking about Donald Trump uh, uh, rolling back some segregation policies. Let me read it. I'm trying to get the full gist of what they're talking about here. Let me read it and then I'll come back with my commentary. The Trump administration is no longer requiring an explicit prohibition of segregated facilities in the new government contracts. On February 15 memo, the February 15th memo from the U.S. General Services Administration was first reported by NPR Tuesday. Segregation is still illegal in the U.S., and the memo states contractors are still subject to laws on civil rights and non-discrimination. But the directive from the GSA, which mandates federal property and sources contracting options for other agencies, came in response to one of President Donald Trump's executive orders aimed at rolling back diversity and equity and inclusion on the federal government. Here's what um, mm, mm, mm. the memo states: the charges or the changes to contract and solicitation terms for federal agencies are necessary after Trump's January 21st executive order titled Ending Illegal Discrimination and Restoring Merit-Based Opportunity, along with other programs Trump considered under the diversity. Hmm. The memo lays out contracts do not include provisions including pro, pro, prohib, prohibition, prohibition on segregated facilities, which includes restrooms, drinking fountains, and transportation. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump posted, I'm not just saying this change sends a clear message. It sure does. Muslim Civil Rights and Advocacy Organization Council American, our nation unfounded becomes more divided and polarized, and the last thing we need is any effort that could be perceived as allowing racial segregation. We must not turn back the clock into a time in our nation's history where racism and white supremacy were written into laws and contracts. The GSA spokesman defended the measure, saying that duplicate regulations in the federal acquisition regulation standard for government suppliers put an unnecessary burden on American companies working with the government. This is why reforming the federal damaging policies. That's not a damaging policy. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think about this? Him rolling back segregation following DEI order federal agents next 1960 segregation prohibition contract. That was put into place because there was a lot of segregation going on. Black people couldn't use the same uh, services and facilities as white people because of the Jim Crow laws. So with him rolling them back, it's almost like he's saying that it's okay for them to go ahead and um, ban black people from certain opportunities and facilities. What do you guys think of this? Him taking this away. I don't know why Donald. Well, I do know why. He's so preoccupied with um, taking away uh, rights away from black people and minorities. He's very preoccupied with that. It speaks volumes. It speaks volumes about Donald Trump. It speaks volumes. I mean, that doesn't scream racism. I don't know what is. Um, he said that uh, he ending illegal discrimination and restoring merit-based opportunity. The problem with that is that we still have a serious issue with racism. So the opportunities, I mean, he's opening the door for companies to discriminate. Basically, he's opening doors for companies to discriminate against black people and other minorities. That's what he's doing. It's the problem is we're not living in a we're still living in a very racist country. That's the problem with this. He's doing this stuff thinking that there's no more racism, and there still is. And he's opening the door for all he's doing is just opening the door for companies to discriminate against people that not just black people but other minorities and everybody that goes under the DEI umbrella. You know, um, it's this is we're still living in a very racist country. So, um, yeah. So let me know, what are you guys' thoughts on this? What do you guys think about this? Uh, him rolling back. I think he's trying to turn back the clock. He's turning back the clock and trying to um, go back to the Jim Crow laws. That's what it sounds like to me. That he's trying to go back to the Jim Crow laws, trying to turn back the clock to go back to the Jim Crow laws. Yeah, yep, trying to take away more and more rights away from black and my other minorities. Um, no, this is not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Maybe this, maybe it would be a good thing for black people because maybe that'll finally give us some motivation to stick together. Black people stuck together when there was segregation, when the Jim Crow laws were in effect and there was segregation. That it was a law. Black people stuck together more. So maybe this will prompt black people to stick together more. Black people was more um, unified during that time. So maybe black people will finally, as a race of people, will finally get unified. So maybe that'll be the good thing that'll come out of all this. But what do you guys? Let me know in the comment section. What do you guys think of this? Yeah, Ben Crump was yeah, he said this change sends a clear message. So rights attorney Ben Crump. Um, yeah, our nation unfortunately becomes more divided and polarized. The last thing we need is an effort that could be perceived as allowing racial segregation. Exactly, exactly. Yeah. Trump never ceases to amaze me. Hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys later. Mm-mm-mm. What next?